Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of Mind Power Meets Mystic. You are here with me today, Michelle Walters, and this is a solo episode. I am the Mind Power Junkie. That's my Insta and YouTube handle. I love thinking about how your mind can help you transform and change and do great things. And usually I am joined by my co host, Cinthia Varkevisser. She is our show mystic and an impressive mystic at that. Cinthia has this week off. What I want to talk to you about today are three other M's, not just mind power meets mystic, but three other M's that I like to use to describe how I help people. I guess we could say that this episode is brought to you by the letter M. Some of you will remember that reference. The three M's that I often use to describe my business in terms of how I help people are mindset, message, and momentum. And I'm going to share with you just a few minutes today about how I help people in these ways. So, as most of you probably know, I am a certified clinical hypnotherapist. What does that mean? It means I went to hypnotherapy school and sat for several hundred hours learning my craft and trade, learning how to ethically and effectively help people connect with their subconscious mind and find out what's in there and find out what they want to change about what's in there in order to make something better happen. So, to do that, it's really a matter of learning how, and I can teach you how, to relax your brain and dial down the certain parts of your brain that are getting in the way of you being connected to your subconscious mind. When you open that up, you have the ability to be more suggestive, be more focused, and be less associated, we call it dissociated, with your body so that you can imagine doing things that you wouldn't be able to maybe imagine in a fully conscious state. This is why hypnotherapy is so effective for certain things, especially things that relate to the body, things like imagining how you could stop pulling your hair if that's a problem, or imagining losing weight, or stopping smoking. Hypnotherapy has been shown to be very effective for these different problems. It's also helpful for phobias. It's also helpful for relationships and transitions. It's really a pretty magical way of working with what's in your mind. You might think of hypnotherapy as just for fear of heights or smoking, but it's also for other kind of more common, even everyday activities. I recently had a client who came to me because she was having trouble with going back to work. She'd been out of work for a long time. My client had been out of work for a long time and wanted to have a calmer, easier way of getting back to her job. She had left for a few months to take off because of a physical injury disability that she needed some time to heal from. And when she left her work, things had been kind of a little bit crazy, a little bit high energy and kind of negative towards her. And she wanted some support so that in going back to the office, it would be a smoother, easier, and less anxiety producing situation. Well, the good news is we were able to do a whole lot to help her overcome those fears and anxieties and feel more confident and find the right ways of talking and relating to her management and coworkers that made her transition back to work so much better, easier, and pleasant than it would have been without our work. So even though you might think of this as something just for unusual situations, hypnosis can actually work really well, even for pretty common situations. One of the things that I'm very proud of in my career as a hypnotherapist is my new invention. I have a new app that I created that helps people with self-hypnosis. My app is a web app. You won't find it in the iPhone store or the Google Play Store at this point. You go to makemyhypno.com, makemyhypno.com. There'll be a link in the show notes to make your own custom self-hypnosis script. One of the great things about hypnosis is that you can do something called self-hypnosis without even the help of a professional or personal somebody working with you one to one. And that's why I made Make My Hypno. So Make My Hypno allows you to make a custom script for one of 19 things you might be working on. Maybe you're working on imposter syndrome or confidence or weight loss. There are 19 choices of things that you can use it for, and it will make a recording for you at a very reasonable price in 5 minutes delivered to your inbox. It uses my metaphors, my scripts, and my voice to customize your recording, and people are loving it. So if you are curious about that, please check the show notes for the URL that will take you to makemyhypno.com. The second M that I want to talk about today is message. Message is critical. Just like you have to work on the inside of you to put together what you want to have your mindset be, your message is essential because it is what you share out into the world. Your message is both personal and it might be bigger than you. If you have a company or you speak for an organization or you are a leader in your religious community or your physical community, message is very important. I love to help people clarify their message, whether that's helping them with what they're writing or the topics of their speeches or how they are pulling people together to lead in their organizations. To this end, I took the 20 years of experience I had as a professional digital marketer for big organizations. We're talking companies like Google and Clorox and Schwab. And I figured out how to translate those practices to a level that will help small businesses. And to that group, I created something I call my Magnetic Marketing Collective. We meet 3 times a month and I share with that group and they share with the remainder of the group. Like it's really a group that I'm the leader, but there are voices from many different people in our group about how to improve their marketing for their small businesses. So our small businesses include a house cleaner and a bookkeeper and a voice actor and a photographer. So there's lots of different kinds of companies represented in our group. If you are interested in learning about our group, you can contact me for an invitation to come, or you can try coming to one of my events. I have several events that are listed on Eventbrite, and there'll be a link that'll get you there in this post as well. But I do speak on marketing topics every month. And you just have to sign up through Eventbrite. They're free. They're about half an hour, 40 minutes long. And if you're a small business, it's a great way of learning some quick tips about how to improve your message and getting your message out there. So with that, I'm going to move on to the last M in my talk, and that is momentum. Why did I include momentum as one of my M's? Because frankly, if you're not moving, if you're not doing something, you're not going to get anywhere. You know, that's really what life is about. Life is about taking action. And I like to gently, kindly, but hold people accountable to what they say they want to do. So, whether it's part of my individual work in mindset and hypnotherapy, helping people decide what they're trying to do and take those actions to make those steps move them forward, or whether it's part of my magnetic marketing collective, where we meet as a group and we talk about our goals. And of course, by talking about your goals in front of someone else, what does that do? It creates a level of accountability, which drastically improves momentum. So, in short, these are my 3 M's: mindset, message, and momentum. They are all important and they are all part of the way that I work with people. So if you are curious or interested in any of these topics, you'll find more information in the show notes. But I would love to see if there's a way that we might want to work together to help with any of your mindset, message, or momentum challenges. Thanks for listening. This has been another episode of Mind Power Meets Mystic. I'm Michelle Walters, the Mind Power Junkie, and we will be rejoined next week by my podcast pal, Cinthia Varkevisser. If you've enjoyed this episode or you know someone who it could help, please give us a like, a rating, a review, or even a direct share. It's how we get the podcast bigger and how we help build the momentum of the work that Cinthia and I are trying to do together. Thank you so much. Bye bye.